That news is coming in. Former Finance Minister P Chidambaram has said that it was an error on the Congress's part to ban Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses. Rajiv Gandhi government in 1988 had banned Rushdie's book, making India the first country to ban Satanic Verses, also expressing his concerns over rising intolerance in the country. He said that illiberalism was on the rise. He added that illiberals have been emboldened because of the mandate and the government is succumbing to their pressure.
Would you believe in hindsight? The Indian government was the first government, the Rajiv Gandhi government was the first government to ban Salman Rushdie's Satanic Verses in the late 1980s. In hindsight, all these years later, was that a mistake? Was it a mistake for any government to ban a book, often without reading it? I have a sense that no one in the Congress party had read that book, and yet they went ahead and banned it. So, do you believe in hindsight?
I have no hesitation in saying that the ban of Salman Rushdie's book was wrong.
Good, it's taken 26 years for a Congress minister to admit that.
If you had asked me this 20 years ago, I would have told you the same thing.
You're looking at stray instances to suggest that intolerance is rising. Are you exaggerating the problem to make a political point today?
Well, I didn't join the debate today. I have been writing about it. Today I got a chance to speak. So while I write, I also speak when I can. And even if I'm exaggerating for the sake of argument, I think that's a tool in the hands of those who want to make a point. Sometimes you must exaggerate if necessary in order to make the point. Sometimes you have to blow up a picture so that people with short sight can see it.
But why do you think that when people go into the state, when they become part of the government, the illiberal tendencies resurface? Why do you think that happens? Is it arrogance of power?
No, see, it's not so much arrogance of power. This is what I call erosion of liberties. This happens largely by stealth, by ignorance, by omission, sometimes even by oversight. Slowly but steadily, they start eroding it, and then there's more erosion, like the sea erodes the coast. People start nibbling at the edges to see how much they can do. And then what happens is, when the numbers are on the side of the illiberals, they then gather more courage and say, aha, we are the government now, and what we say will be the law. And the state simply succumbs to the pressure, and by either omission or commission, it allows this erosion to take place. That is why, just as you will stop sea erosion on a coast when you first see it, at the first sign of erosion of liberties, you must stand up and speak.
Responding to Chidambaram's statement that it was a mistake to ban Satanic Verses, the BJP hit back asking why it took more than 25 years for a congressman to make this admission.
The questions will certainly be raised to Mr. Chidambaram. Why didn't you speak your mind? You were a senior cabinet colleague and a senior cabinet minister in the government. So you could have said this is not fair. This is intolerance toward it. And therefore, the question does go out to Mr. Chidambaram. Why didn't you speak your mind at that point of time?
Right, and news is coming in. Salman Rushdie has tweeted saying this admission took 27 years. How many more before the mistake is corrected? Salman Rushdie there responding to that statement made by P Chidambaram that it was a mistake on the Congress government's part to ban Satanic Verses. Let's get a word from Rajdeep Sardesai, who's with us on the phone line. It was while he was speaking to Rajdeep that P Chidambaram made that comment. Rajdeep, Salman Rushdie also now reacting to that statement made by P Chidambaram.
That's right. I believe Salman Rushdie has now reacted to that statement. But clearly what P Chidambaram has said is perhaps the first time that a congressman has come out openly, and it has taken 26 years for a congressman to actually admit that maybe the government erred in banning Salman Rushdie's book. As I said in the interview when I asked him, I said how many congressmen had perhaps even read the book before the decision was taken to ban it. And this was in the context of a talk that Mr. Chidambaram was giving, a conversation we were having at the Times of India Literature Festival about whether India was an illiberal democracy. So when Mr. Chidambaram went on about the fact that he felt there was a growing intolerance, that books were being banned, NGOs were being banned, I asked him whether he admitted that this intolerance did not only emerge in the last 18 months, but India had a tradition, or the Indian state had a tradition of banning uncomfortable opinion, whether it was through books or whether it was through theatre, and that's the context in which we raised Satanic Verses and Salman Rushdie. And clearly, I think Mr. Chidambaram was open and transparent enough at least to admit perhaps that the Congress government of Rajiv Gandhi had got it wrong, and he said any form of banning in this merely because some group or the other sentiments are hurt is wrong. It is a reflection of the fact that we remain an illiberal democracy. So I think it was important in that context, even though he went on then to say that the scale of intolerance at the moment he believes is of a manner where he believes that the state is encouraging a form of majoritarianism. However, by admitting to the Congress's error in the context of Salman Rushdie, in a sense, Mr. Chidambaram has reopened a controversy which had haunted the Congress party and has often been used by the BJP to target the Congress party and accuse them of selective outrage in the past.
Absolutely. Chidambaram seems to have opened the Pandora's box. Let's see how other Congress leaders react to his statement. Archie, thanks so much for speaking to us. We're also getting in a reaction.